John Gill, Revelations chapter 6, verse 2. Scripture quote, "And I saw and behold a white horse," unquote. John Gill quote, representing the ministration of the gospel in the times of the apostles, which were just now finishing. John being the last of them who saw this vision, and the horse being a swift, majestic, and warlike creature, and fearless in opposition and war, may design the swift progress of the gospel in the world, the majesty, power, and authority with which it came, and opposition it met with, and which was bore down before it, and its white color may denote the purity of gospel truths, the peace it proclaims, the joy brings, and the trumpet that attends it, on account of victories obtained by it, and which is afterwards suggested. White horses were used in triumphs, in token of victory. A white horse in a dream is a good sign with the Jews. And it's spelled Astrampsychus, says, a vision of white horses and an apparition of angels. And so one of these angels, which the Jews supposed to have the care of men and the preservation of them, is said to ride by him and at his right hand upon a white horse. But the rider here is not an angel, but the head of all principality and power, unquote. Scripture quote, "And he that sat on him had a bow," unquote. John Gill quote, "with arrows. The bow is the word of the gospel, and the arrows the doctrines of it." See Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 9. Reading from the King James Bible, quote, "The bow was made quite naked, according to the oaths of the tribes, even the word, Shelah. Thou didst cleave the earth with rivers," unquote. So, called for their swift motion, sudden and secret striking, piercing and penetrating nature, reaching to the very hearts of men, laying open the secret thoughts and iniquity thereof, wounding and causing them to fall, and submit themselves to the scepter of Christ's kingdom, unquote. Scripture quote, "And a crown was given unto him," unquote. John Gill quote, "by God the Father, expressive of Christ's regal power and authority, of his honor and dignity, and of his victories and conquests," unquote. Scripture quote, "And he went forth conquering and to conquer," unquote. John Gill quote, "in the ministration of the gospel, which went forth, as did all the first ministers of it, from Jerusalem to the several parts of the world, from the east, on which side the throne was the first living creature, who called upon John to come and see the sight, as a standard of the tribe of Judah, which had a lion upon it, was on the east side of the camp of Israel, and out of Zion went forth the word of the Lord, which was very victorious, both among Jews and Gentiles, to the conversions of thousands of them, and to the planting of a multitude of churches among them, and to the setting up and advancing the kingdom of Christ. But inasmuch as yet all things were not made subject to him, he is represented as going forth in the gospel, still conquering and to conquer what remained to be conquered, that Christ is designed by him that sat on the white horse, and is thus described, is evident from Revelation chapter 19, verse 11, and with which compared Psalms chapter 45, verse 3. Reading from the King James Bible, quote, "Gird thy sword upon thy thigh, O most mighty, with thy glory and thy majesty," unquote. Though as this emblem may respect Rome Empire, the white horse may be an emblem of the strong, warlike, and conquering state of it, and the rider which a bow and crown may design, Vespasan, whom Christ made use of as an instrument to conquer his enemies, the Jews, and who, in consequence thereof, had the imperial crown put upon him And it may be further observed that though his conquest of them was a very great one, yet they afterwards rose up in the empire in great numbers, rebelled, and did much mischief, when they were entirely conquered by Trojan and Hadrian, that's Hadrian, who seems to be intended in the next seal. End of John Gill's Revelations chapter 6, verse 2.